With recovery treatment, the big ones are always drugs and alcohol, substance use disorder, I believe is the new term that we use. But I find that addiction and recovery are more than just substances. There's behavior, sex and work and exercise and toxic relationships. Within your facility, what kind of addictions are you treating there? And also another question I wanted to ask is dual diagnosis. Do you do that at your facility? Is that part of your programs?
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're not providing dual diagnosis care in a rehab, you're not doing the job. It's like bread and
agree more.
They go together.
Absolutely.
So on that part, of course, and the bulk of our people will have a dual diagnosis. Some will even have a tri-diagnosis.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense, right? What am I thinking? Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah, of course. So yes, we do. In terms of what type of clientele do we work with substance use disorders is our specific area. I would say that's our main area of work that we work with, which obviously includes the plethora of substances, not just the ones that we're all familiar with. There's always new stuff coming onto the market and variances of that. Alcohol, of course, and then we do have gambling, people with gambling addiction. That's very common. So we work with people with gambling. We've definitely seen a rise in people with compulsive sexual behaviors. So
why do you think there's a rise in that? I'm just curious. Is that
access? I think that's access. I think the internet has changed everything on that. I think that's just made things a lot easier.
Of course.
About and I think that's a big thing. Again, also the things around about things like shopping. Again, I mean,
exactly. Do you get a lot of shopping? Yes.
Often what happens, and it's really interesting, is that we'll get a client that comes in and we don't really know. We've done the assessment, we've sort of got a general understanding of them, and then once they've been in treatment for a couple of weeks, other stuff starts to manifest. So you'll have this part where, okay, we take away the for example, the substance, be it alcohol, and then something else starts. For example, they start trying to order stuff. We allow people to have their phone. I actually believe that clients should have access to their phone. I believe that clients should still be able to remain connected. They should
absolutely
start learning how to manage the way they communicate and who they communicate while they're in treatment. Take away the phone, take it away for a month, and then give it back to them at the end of the treatment. They ain't learned nothing.
No, they didn't.
But what we can see is if they've got the phone, if there is an issue, we can see it because it'll start playing out in treatment. And
online shopping, online gambling.
Yeah. So whatever. For example, I had this client comes in, really interesting client. They come in, we stop the alcohol and drugs, of course, because you can't have that in a facility. So the next thing starts is the eating disorder starts, and that starts manifesting in playing out in terms of
like binge eating kind of thing,
over exercising, hoarding food, purging, etc. So we put in the interventions to address that. The next thing that starts is all of a sudden there's just constant deliveries turning up at the thing. Yeah. So we have to then put in an intervention for that. So what I'm saying is that, people talk about people going into rehab, it's not real world. Actually, it is. It can be. People go into treatment, they're in a group of people, a community, 20 odd people. When they first come in, it's a little bit like Big Brother. They all love each other. They think everyone's great.
Yeah.
And probably within a couple of weeks, there's certain people they absolutely hate. And all of those communication things that they may struggle with, those interpersonal relationships that may play out in their own lives, also play out in the rehab. And that's why it's really, that part is really interesting. That's a part where we can do a lot of work with.
Yeah, you can do a ton of work there.
Not just about the substance. It's never just about the substance. Once we take substance away after 10, 12 days, after they've been, after they've been withdrawn. It's not really about the substance per se.
It isn't. The substance or the behavior, that's just a symptom to what's really going on. And that was such a wonderful story. I'm sorry, an example of taking away the booze and the drugs. And then there's the overeating or the purging or the too much exercise. Well, we can't do that. Well, then there's the online shopping. Well, we can't do that. And it's just, and then it just manifests in the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing.
With yourself.
You do, yes. That's the thing, is you got to sit with yourself. It sometimes is very uncomfortable, but that's an important thing to do.
Exactly.